possible, since the start of the COVID-19 crisis, what we have done is to cocoon ourselves. And inside that cocoon, a fundamental change is taking place of our society, of our economy.
So that was a clip of Kristalina Georgievna of the IMF talking about the change that's coming to the system. They are aware that our monetary fiat system is failing because they're the ones causing it to fail. You don't fix a debt problem with more debt. But they understand at this point it's the only way to keep the system going. And we are moving into a digital fiat based system, and this is the change that she is talking about. Now, this change isn't just happening in the United States, it's happening globally. And you better believe the United States wants to be in the front of the line with this new monetary change and not in the back of it. The Federal Reserve digital dollar is already here. It's just a matter of when they're going to release it to us. And if you remember in an earlier video, I talked about there's already a bill presented to Congress, and if this bill passes, the Federal Reserve has to have these accounts up and ready by January 21st, 2021. And the way they're going to spin this is they're going to give us all the pluses and none of the minuses. They're going to tell us how it's great because they can control inflation a lot better. They can control purchasing power a lot better. You don't have to worry about losing cash. You don't have to worry about getting robbed. They're going to give us all those pluses, but none of the minuses. They're not going to let us know that they're going to control what we can buy and what we can't buy possibly. They're not going to let us know that if we owe a debt, they can take that from us instantly. And they're not going to let us know all the freedoms, once again, that we will lose by going to this digital-based system. They're going to say in times of crisis like this pandemic, they could easily give us stimuluses by a few clicks of a button. They're going to promote it in the best way possible with none of the negatives. This is why it's even more important as of now for us to be getting prepared and getting assets outside of this system, such as silver, gold, and possibly some of these crypto assets that are outside, the centralized banking system.
But we are faced with the risk of a tale of two cities within countries and across countries. And that we have to be really, really concerned about.
So in that clip, she talks about a tale of two cities. This is a book about the French Revolution and the conditions that led up to it. And pretty much, they're well aware that the policies that they're doing right now are robbing from the middle and lower class and just giving more wealth to the elite. But they know that that's all they can do to try to fix this problem is continue pumping liquidity into the system. It's devaluing our dollars, but it's giving the top 10% so much more value and so much more money, because that's how they do this. They're bailing out these $1 million corporations and these $1 billion banks, pumping all this money into the system. They're buying junk bonds from these corporations, and they're not doing much for us little guys, and they're well aware of it. So pretty much what she is stating is that they're well aware of something, some kind of revolt could possibly happen, and you better believe that they're prepared for that to happen. So all I'm stating is this is why we have to get prepared. They know that this is only the beginning, and things are going to get a lot harder and a lot worse. And we need to do what they're doing. So if they're aware of these situations and preparing for them, we need to do the best of our ability to be aware of these situations and prepare for them at least the best we can. And this is why I'm always stressing about precious metals, because once again, this is a financial economic crisis that we're heading into and that we're actually already in the beginning phases of. And if we go to switch to a digital dollar, it's not going to be an easy transition regardless what happens. They're doing this because the fiat system is failing, and they probably don't have too many other options unless they decide just to let the whole system implode on itself, which would just be completely chaotic. Now, just because they're talking about switching to a digital system, that doesn't mean it's gonna, it's gonna work. So, just in case some of you didn't catch my last video on the digital dollar, pretty much what it would be is it would be digits on a computer screen. It would only be ledger-based digital currency, and you wouldn't be able to withdraw any of it. So all of your transactions would have to be controlled through an app that you would probably have to download through the Federal Reserve. Now, you would be able to swipe a card or scan an app or your phone to make purchases, but if you needed to pull out like $10 to pay a babysitter or the kid down the street for cutting your grass, you wouldn't be able to do that. And they possibly wouldn't let you make transactions without taxes coming out. So even if you were able to transfer that money to your babysitter, you possibly would have to pay taxes on doing that transaction. But, nobody knows exactly how this system's going to work but the government and the Federal Reserve. And it's here. It's very real. They are working with, organizations like the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, and, they have their own tech companies that they've hired. And this is being worked on. It's being established, and they actually had an article drop a few weeks ago stating that they've been working on this since around 2015. So my point is if we have a bill, which we do, presented in Congress, and if it passes, they got to have these counts available to us within the next 6 months, January 2021. You better believe this system is already tested, tried, and ready to go. And this could possibly be, what we're going to be heading into and seeing future stimulus checks from. So I just wanted to touch base with everybody. I know I haven't been putting out much videos or watching much videos lately, but my work schedule and home schedule has been beyond hectic with school being back in and everything else. But silver is still at a great price right now. It's ranging in the $23, and it's an amazing buying opportunity, and I know I have taken advantage of it. I'm excited to make a video in the next week showing you guys my recent purchases, and I've actually got something in that recent purchase that I plan on being part of a future giveaway. So you guys will see that when I get it and get the time to make the video, and I hope you guys are continuing to get prepared and accumulating precious metals yourself. And if you get the extra time, do some homework on some cryptos. I never believed in them myself, but there are cryptos out there that are outside of the financial system. That's specifically what they were made for, is to work outside of the system. That's why governments don't like cryptos. So, I'm not saying all cryptos are good, but there are some out there that could be very, very beneficial to the, crisis we are in and going to continue to move into. So, just something to look into if you get some downtime. I was dead against them myself, but the more I started to learn about them, the better and stronger beliefs I do have about them. With that being said, silver will always be my number one, and it'll stay like that. But it's also good to be diversified, and if we are moving into the digital world, digital assets could be very lucrative moving into that world. So once again, just something to keep in mind, and something I recommend that you do some homework on if you get an opportunity. In the meantime, please stay safe, everyone, and please keep prepping.